Good morning. Welcome to another Monday Mindset. Hard to believe it is December 9th already. I think I say that every time, but it is Monday, December 9th. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you're ready to crush it this week. Want to go over today, as I wait for some people to get on, I want to go over just 5 roles that I have seen that the CEO, the leader of an organization, needs to act upon. These are things that I am still trying to master myself as I try to lead Reminder Media to this next level. I'm realizing even more and more how important it is for me to master these 5 areas. But I was thinking today, hey, what can I share as we are entering into 2025? Hopefully all of you have gotten your strategic initiatives down, your budgets planned. If you haven't done your marketing plan, if you haven't done your strategic planning, you should do that. You have a couple days left in the year. Sit down. Remember, you cannot hit a target that you don't know exists, right? And so if you have a goal without a plan, it's just a wish, as they say. And so you need to be focused on what is your strategic plan? Where are you going? How are you going to get there? And then I think about you as the leader of the organization. Maybe you have people in your downline. Maybe you have people on your team. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're just a solopreneur leading yourself. But these are 5 areas that I see that a CEO needs to run in their organization to be effective. And the first one I wrote down is you as the leader, you have to be the one who sets the vision of the organization, specifically the vision from a standpoint of the impact that you're making on the world. I've realized the more and more that I've grown Reminder Media, the more important it is that, hey, I have a revenue goal, right? I want to be a company that hits X revenue. I want to be a company that can get these monetary things. But even more important to rally people around, I need an impact-based vision. I need a vision that is values-based, that is changing the world, that is changing people's lives, because it doesn't take very many committed people to change the world, right? That, Jesus only had 12 disciples and he changed the whole world. Doesn't take very many. You just got to get people on board with the impact that they can make. And the more I grow in Reminder Media, the more I realize how important that is, because on the days you don't feel it, the only thing that really gets you up is the values, is the impact. The money will fade, and the vision has to be based on something bigger than that. So you as the leader, you have to have a vision that you're setting, but it has to be an impact-based vision. Why do you exist as an organization? What is the change that you're going to make on the world? And how do you rally people around that? Number 2 that I wrote down that you need to do as the leader of your organization is you need to set the focus. So you have your vision, which is the impact you want to make. That's the values that you are bringing to the world, how you're making people's lives better, both you, your team members, and the clients that you serve. But then you have to set the focus of the organization. And this has probably been the hardest for me because I'm a visionary leader. I'm a salesperson. I'm not organized. If you saw my desk in front of me, behind me looks okay. It's kind of scattered even behind me. But right in front of me, it's just piles of paper, stuff like that. Because I'm not the most organized, I tend to have shiny object syndrome. I tend to chase things that I shouldn't chase. And it's not that we can't do those as an organization. It's just very hard to do multiple things well. You need to be focused. Gary Keller wrote this book called The One Thing. I would encourage you as an entrepreneur, as a business leader, go get that book if you've never read it. It's the one thing. You need to be focused and honed in on one thing and move that needle. I've often said, you can have 4 balls moving down the field, working 100% of the time, moving each ball 25 yards, never scoring a touchdown, but working as hard as possible. And if you have too many focuses, what happens is you never score and you end up dying slowly, even though everybody's working as hard as possible. You need to be the best at one thing. When that cup overflows, you use the excess to be able to go do other things. I've made that mistake so many times. I'm in the heart of that mistake even again in my organization today of realizing, man, if I would have stayed focused, I'd be so much further down the road. So learn from my failure. Be focused on one thing, become the best at one thing before you add other things. You as the leader have to control that because everybody wants to grow. Everybody has shiny object syndrome. The grass is always greener on the other side, at least it seems. And so it's tempting to jump over because you think there's opportunity there, but you got to remember that's not real opportunity. Opportunity is real when executed upon. That's not real money. So if you see other people, maybe you're selling an insurance product and you see others selling something different, and you're like, I'm going to add that to my arsenal, but you haven't mastered what you're selling, that's fake opportunity. It's only opportunity when it's executed upon. All that is just a dream right now. It looks green, but as I forget what coach said this, maybe you can chat it in. I don't know if you know Joe or Tony. I see that you're on, chat in, like, who's the person who said the grass is greener where you water it? That's the truth. So you as the leader, you have to set a vision that needs to be values-based, impact-based. That gets people up in the morning, gets people moving year after year, day after day. But then you have to set the focus of the organization. What are we going to be best in the world at right now, over this next quarter, over this next year? And you need to control that so you don't get diluted and then all of a sudden you're ineffective. Third thing you have to do as the CEO of any organization is set the bar. Like, you are the standard bearer. You could write this down. You are the ultimate truth teller. The reason why they say it's lonely at the top is not that it should be lonely. You should bring a ton of people with you as you go, but it's lonely because you're constantly having to tell people the things that other people shy away from telling them. You are the ultimate truth teller. You need to be telling people the truth of where they're succeeding, where they're failing, and why it gets lonely is because most people don't tell the truth. Most people like to sugarcoat things and dance around the point, and sometimes when you're the only one that tells the truth, it makes people not like you in the moment, but they respect you in the long term. You have to set that standard. I interviewed one of the guys that, I forget which one he created, if it was Crunch Fitness or which one he created, but he created like the first 24-hour fitness gym. And he said the thing he learned the most about running these gyms is that he had to set the bar, and that the managers that failed were the managers that set low bars, because anybody can be a superstar if the bar is at your ankles. You have to set the bar high to indicate who are the superstars, who are the athletes that should be on this team. You set that. Elon Musk, everybody uses him as an example. Why? Because he sets such a massive bar. He believes that you can get to Mars. He believes you can dig these tunnels underneath LA. He believes that you can create these huge organizations that change the world. And oftentimes he's been on the verge of bankruptcy. He's slept on the factory floor. He's such a great example of what it means as a leader to set the bar for people and to act upon that bar. You cannot live in reality. Most people manage to what is. You must manage to what can be. Always remember that. Most people want to manage to what is. They want to manage to the reality that they live in. They don't manage to what can be. And your job as a leader is to see the vision of what can be where others don't believe, because it's not what is today, and you have to take people there. And the only way you do that is to set a really, really high standard and a huge bar, because if you're at 100%, maybe your people will come in at 80% if you're lucky, and you have to keep pushing them that way and reminding them of that value-based vision, the impact that they make on the world. Then fourth, I wrote down, so you're going to set the vision, set the focus, set the standards. Fourth is you are the recruiter of top talent. You are the recruiting machine in your organization. This is probably what I underestimated the most. I was at a dinner with a bunch of other business leaders just last week, and I was talking about how, wow, I'm just realizing so much more in these latter years, how much of my role as a leader is recruiting top talent, attracting top talent, creating a culture of top talent in my organization, because one great executive, one great salesman can change the trajectory of your organization, but one bad hire can also change the trajectory of your organization. I think I was listening to the Airbnb CEO, and he did like the first 400 interviews for Airbnb, and he said his biggest regret was not doing the first 1,000 interviews, like the first 1,000 hires. That was one of his biggest regrets. And that really struck a chord with me of going, man, you are the gatekeeper. You should be the top talent attractor, which means you have to constantly be building relationships, planting seeds with top talent out there in the industry that they might not come over today, but a year from now, when they're upset, not getting the culture that they want at their organization, they remember you and the investment that you've made in their life. So you need to be driving recruiting in your organization. And then fifth, you have to develop a culture of growth. You have to develop a culture of leadership. where you are developing leaders, you are challenging people to have a self-development culture where you are not only attracting top talent from your recruiting, but you're keeping them because people are growing. And that comes from setting a vision, but it comes from really modeling for people what does it mean to invest in self-development. You yourself becoming better every single day. You yourself creating a culture where you're challenging people to read, to listen, to go to conferences, to be part of masterminds, to level up in their life. You have to set that tone, and if you do that, you'll be able to keep A players because A players want to grow. The death of A players is they get bored, and they get around people that are unmotivated, and then they become unmotivated. So you as the CEO, you as the leader of your life, you should ask yourself, do I have a vision that is value-based, that is impact-based? Am I focused? Do I have one focus, at most 3 focuses that I'm trying to accomplish for my life and my organization? Am I setting super high standards that raises the bar so I can become a superstar? Am I recruiting top talent into my life? Am I getting around people that are top talent? And then am I fostering a culture of growth where people are learning every single day? They are self-developing. They care about where they're going, and they don't accept the status quo. I believe if you do that as a CEO, you will be a kick-ass CEO. You will create an unbelievable organization. All 5 of these things, I think to myself, if I was grading myself on these on a scale of 1 to 10, I would grade myself really low on these things. There's so much room in my own life for improvement in these areas, but these are the core foundational things that drive any organization. So that is my Monday Mindset. Good morning, Lily. See you in the chats down there. Joe, appreciate you, brother, as always. Hope you guys are having an amazing Monday already, even though it's only 10:13. But let's get out there and let's win. There's very little days left in 2025 or 2024. We're already in 2025. So this is separating season. Don't pull back. Advance forward. Get out there and win for you, for your clients, for your family. Put on paper what you're trying to do. Put these 5 things down and grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you in these areas? And in 2025, how are you going to improve as a leader in these 5 areas? Because this will make the biggest difference in your business because it's been made the biggest in mine. And I'm trying to get around people who level me up in these areas. Appreciate you guys. Let's have a great day. Let's crush it. See ya.